Funny, brutal irony. While we burn fuel-battling winter, Vikings built hill houses from free peat that trapped air better than modern insulation, grew their own roofs, and used nearby cows as free radiators. Their living homes repaired themselves seasonally. Modern architecture still can't match it efficiently. This superior secret laughs at our waste, rarely revealed without drama. Get it here exclusively. In the North Atlantic, survival was decided before the first fire was lit. Families learned quickly that copying familiar homes was a mistake that winters punished without mercy. The people who lived learned to change how they built or disappear entirely. What saved them was not strength or courage, but one quiet structural decision hidden beneath the ground. Before we go further, answer this honestly in the comments. If you had to survive a brutal winter with limited resources, would you build above the land or into it? And why this video shows how that single choice separated survival from extinction. The North Atlantic does not forgive mistakes. Winters are long and merciless. Fuel is scarce and every resource must be earned. Storms arrive without warning, bringing winds strong enough to knock a grown man to the ground and tear weak structures apart. The earth freezes until it becomes harder than stone, and daylight slowly vanishes until weeks pass under a dim, blue twilight. In this environment, survival is not about comfort or preference. It is about precision. A poorly insulated home is not a minor inconvenience. It is a countdown clock. If heat escapes faster than it can be generated, the outcome is simple and final. When the Norse first arrived in these northern lands, they tried to live the way they always had. They carried their traditions with them, along with their expectations. Timber halls had served them well in forested regions. Wood-framed homes represented strength, permanence, and status. But here, timber was rare. Trees did not grow tall or straight. Importing wood was expensive, dangerous, and unreliable. Ships could be lost to storms. Cargo could rot or sink. Depending on timber meant depending on luck, and luck does not survive long winters. So the Norse adapted, quietly, reluctantly at first, then completely. They stopped trying to impose familiar architecture on an unfamiliar land. Instead of building against the environment, they began building with it. This was not surrender, it was intelligence. They observed what the land offered in abundance and asked how it could serve them. The answer was beneath their feet. Instead of raising walls above ground where wind could strip heat away, they sank their homes into the earth. Instead of relying on scarce wood, they cut blocks of turf and peat directly from the soil. These blocks were heavy, dense, and fibrous. When stacked carefully, they formed walls over a meter thick. Peat was not just available, it was extraordinary. Its structure trapped air in countless tiny pockets, creating insulation that rivaled anything modern materials could offer. A turf wall did not merely slow heat loss. It resisted it stubbornly, holding warmth inside long after a fire had burned low. These homes did not stand apart from the landscape. They became part of it. Grass grew across the roofs. Moss crept along the walls. Wildflowers bloomed in summer and died back in winter, returning nutrients to the soil that formed the house itself. From a distance, a settlement looked less like a village and more like a series of gentle hills interrupted only by dark doorways. This invisibility was not accidental. A house that blends into the land is harder for wind to attack and easier to keep warm. Wood, when it appeared, was treated like treasure. Driftwood carried by Arctic currents would occasionally wash ashore. When it did, it was claimed immediately, not fought over, but respected. The wood was dried, split, reused, repaired, and passed down. A single beam might serve generations. Timber was not wasted on walls that Earth could replace. It was reserved for what absolutely required strength and flexibility. Roof frames, doorways, structural supports. Every piece had a purpose and a future. Inside these homes, everything revolved around one small fire. There was no chimney in the modern sense. Smoke escaped through a simple opening in the roof. Managing the fire required constant attention. Too strong and smoke filled the room. Too weak and cold crept in. This balance became second nature. The hearth was not decoration. It was life itself. The thick turf walls absorbed heat slowly throughout the day. Then, as temperatures dropped at night, they released that heat back into the living space. The house functioned as a thermal battery. It stored warmth when it was available and gave it back when it was needed most. Outside, temperatures could plunge far below freezing. Inside, people could sit, work, repair tools, tell stories, and sleep without freezing. This difference meant survival. Families lived close together not because of tradition or sentiment, but because physics demanded it. Body heat mattered. Space was shared because warmth was shared. Animals were often housed nearby, or even partially within the structure. Their heat passed through floors and walls, adding to the total thermal balance. Nothing was wasted. Everything contributed. Even the layout of the house enforced efficiency. Rooms were small. Ceilings were low. Long hallways did not exist. Open space was the enemy of warmth. Architecture dictated behavior. Movement was minimized. Heat was conserved. Survival shaped daily life more than custom ever could. What is striking is that this solution was not unique. Across the Arctic and subarctic world, cultures separated by oceans arrived at the same conclusion. Earth insulates, fire warms, wind must be deflected, not resisted. Shelter must cooperate with the land, or it will fail. Whether turf houses in Iceland, sod homes in Greenland, or semi-buried dwellings in other northern regions, the logic was identical. Different people, same physics, same answer. These homes were not permanent in the modern sense. Turf rots, grass dies, walls slump and need repair. Maintenance was constant. Every summer involved rebuilding sections of wall, replacing sod, reinforcing corners. But the foundation endured. One generation built on top of another. Layers accumulated over centuries. A home was not abandoned when it aged. It was renewed. The house grew with the family and the land. Status meant little on the outside. A chieftain's home looked much like a farmer's. Wealth did not buy insulation. Power did not deflect wind. The environment erased hierarchy. Cold did not care who you were. It treated everyone equally. This kind of architecture produced a certain mindset. Waste became unthinkable. Excess became dangerous. Every resource had to justify its existence. Comfort was measured not by softness, but by survival margin. Warmth that lasted through the night was luxury. Dry clothing was wealth. A roof that held through a storm was success. Modern people often imagine ancient life as crude or primitive. But these homes tell a different story. They reveal a deep understanding of materials, heat transfer, and environmental forces. They show restraint where modern building often shows arrogance, Instead of overwhelming the environment with force, these structures yielded intelligently, shaping themselves around natural laws. In many ways, these houses outperformed modern ones. They required no external energy. They adapted automatically to seasonal change. They repaired themselves through natural growth. They asked nothing from the land that could not be given back. The lesson is not nostalgia, it is perspective. Technology did not make humans smarter, it made us faster. But speed often replaces understanding. These people had no shortcuts. Every mistake was punished immediately. That kind of pressure creates clarity. The turf house, like the teepee, like countless other indigenous structures, was not about conquering nature. It was about reading it correctly. When you build something that listens to wind, accepts snow, stores heat, and blends into the earth, the land stops fighting you. Survival, in the harshest places on earth, has never belonged to the strongest or the loudest. It belongs to those who pay attention. Here's the part history often skips. The Vikings didn't survive because they were tougher than the cold. They survived because they stopped arguing with it. They changed how they built. They listened to the land. And once they did, the land stopped trying to kill them. That lesson hasn't aged out. We just stopped paying attention to it. So, let me ask you in the comments, if you had to build for survival today, what would you change first? The materials, the shape, or the location? Your answer says a lot about how we still think about shelter. And if you want more stories like this, where forgotten design choices explain how humans actually survived the hardest places on Earth, subscribe. These ideas didn't disappear because they were wrong. They disappeared because we stopped needing them. Until we do again. I'll see you in the next one.